Hi, everyone. This is Ellen Thompson-Jennings, the Family History Hound. And with me today, I have Catherine Schober, and she runs a site called Germanology. And we met at Roots Tech, but I had some technical difficulties, and so she graciously offered to do a do-over. So welcome. And I'd like to know a little bit more about your website and what it can do for me or anybody else that has German ancestors.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to get to talk to you again. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right, is that working?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, this is my website, Germanology Unlocked. As it says in the little subheading, I help you unlock the stories of your family's past with translations. So that's how I got started in the business. I did my master's in the German language and started translating historical German documents. I love language. I love history. So I feel so lucky that I've gotten to combine my two passions and translate church records, vital records. I do old letters and diaries, which are fascinating, getting to hear the thoughts of people from the 1800s or so. Newspapers, pretty much anything and everything, helping people to discover their ancestors. And then I also have two courses. I have a course that teaches people all about the old German handwriting. So that's over here. With the old German handwriting, a lot of people get very overwhelmed by it. This is the course right here. And I like to make it a little easier for them and show them it doesn't have to be as scary as they think. So that course, you get lifetime access to, and we use videos and flashcards and different games. I try to make it very fun with matching games and fun quizzes, and then actual records to get to practice on. So when you're finished, you feel very confident deciphering that handwriting and that you can actually read the documents of your German ancestors.
So you can start the course anytime you want and just access it whenever you want.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people seem to love about it is that with genealogy we go in phases. Sometimes we get really into it in the spring and then summer comes along and we go on vacation, and then as it gets colder, maybe we want to get back into it. And so the course is always there for you. You can complete it if you like, and then a year later come back, review those flashcards of the letters and get those letters back in your brain, or go back to those practice documents and find out how much you remember. And really, it's just there for you whenever you want to review, and helps you to kind of keep that information fresh in your mind.
And it's a lifetime access.
Yes, that's a lifetime access. So you can get it now. You can use it in 60 years if you like. So you always have it. You always have it to review. It's always there as a tool to help you translate that old handwriting in your German documents.
I mean, and that's what I was mentioning to you. I have German ancestries, but I haven't really done a whole lot because that's the stumbling block. I look at the writing. I have a hard time reading sometimes just handwriting, let alone writing in another language. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's what really overwhelms a lot of people. It is in German, which most people don't know, and it is in this handwriting that they've never seen before. Just in case any of your viewers might not be familiar with the handwriting, this was a type of handwriting used in the German-speaking countries up until about the time of World War II. So a completely different alphabet, different way of writing letters. Some letters do look similar to our cursive letters, but as a whole, about 20 of the letters look very different from the letters that we learned. And even most modern Germans today cannot read it because it is so different from the regular way of handwriting. So this
isn't that
course really,
realize that? Yeah.
yeah, so it's about my husband is actually from Austria, native German speaker, and he can't read it. He can maybe recognize, like I said, 1 in 5 letters. So yeah, it is. That's why these flashcards are so important. I walk you through letter by letter. You get videos of me teaching you the letters. I try to use really fun ways to help remember them. Like I think the capital S looks like an upside down fish. I like to say part of the U looks like a smiley face. So I don't try to be too formal. I try to keep it fun.
Mhm.
So those kind of tricks really stick in your brain. And then when you see the letter, you think, oh, there's my upside down fish. That must be a capital S. And that's really seemed to help a lot of people. And I've had a lot of people tell me, I never thought I'd be able to do this. And now, after doing the course, I can read my ancestors' documents all by myself and get so excited about that.
Oh, that sounds really great.
Yeah.
So you have some other, I see some workshops and other courses.
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a workshop on German church records in a couple weeks, April 29th, and there's about 10 spots left. And that will teach you how to extract your ancestors' information from German church records without needing to read the entire record. Like we've been talking about, people get overwhelmed when they look at those paragraph church records that are all in this old German handwriting. But if you know where to look, you don't have to actually translate the whole thing. You can look for certain words and say, okay, this is where I'll find the occupation. This is where I'll find the dates I'm looking for. This is where I'll find the places of residence. So I kind of teach you how to look at those records and make them less scary. And
Right.
then my other course is German for genealogists right here in the middle. Because in addition to the handwriting, as we've been saying, they're also in the old in German. Um, and this course teaches you the German language skills that you'll need, but we relate them to genealogy. So I teach you that grammar, I teach you that vocabulary, but as you'll see it in genealogy documents. So all of the grammar you'll learn, we do worksheets that works with records of the past. So you're learning those verbs, you're learning those conjugations in the way you'll see them in genealogy documents. So if you took a modern German course, you'd learn a lot, but there's so much specific to genealogy that this really focuses on the German language you're going to be working with
You're
as you work with
focusing
your
on
records.
the words that you would see in those kind of documents, genealogy type
Exactly, yes.
documents, right?
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. So you're not going to be learning, this is how you say browse the internet or something like that. You'll be learning, this is how you say he was baptized, he was buried, things like that.
oh, okay, super.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I also noticed that you have membership as well. Can you
Yes,
explain a little bit about that?
sure. So this is really fun. I started this, I think, in 2018. The best part of the membership is the gold membership. And what we do is we have Ask the Translator hour once a week on Wednesdays. And that is a private Facebook group where people who feel like they can read some of the handwriting, but they might get stuck. There's always words that trip you up, like, oh, I know this must be an occupation, but I just can't figure it out. Or this must be my ancestor's maiden name, but those letters are really confusing me. And what people can do in these office hours are post their document in the private group. And then one of my team members, Marissa, she is an expert translator and she goes in and answers your questions for you. She'll tell you, oh, this is the word you couldn't read, or this is the sentence you were having trouble translating. So it's just a little bit of extra help, kind of like a teacher helping the student in her office to help you get past those brick walls and figure out what those words mean to move on to the next document.
And
And that's
there's
that,
more
that's
than
the
one
main thing.
level.
Yeah. Sorry.
You have more than one level of
Yeah, so
membership.
that's the main part of the gold, and then you get all of this as well. You get monthly genealogy articles that are
Mhm.
only for premium members. So based on the questions that get asked in the Ask the Translator hour, I or Marissa write articles to help you figure out more about your German genealogy. And that's one thing that I love about this Ask the Translator hour is that you're not only asking your own questions, you're seeing the questions that other people have as well. So you're learning from other people, you're learning from other documents. And then at the end of each hour, we write a summary of everything we learned that day. So this is what these abbreviations mean. These are what this part of the document looks like. So you're learning every week more information than you would have just asked yourself. And
Well, and
something that a
sometimes
lot,
people don't want to ask questions because they're afraid that it'll be silly or something like.
right. And that's what we try to say. There's no such thing as silly questions because we can all learn from each other. And if you are scared to ask it, maybe like you said, somebody else asked it and you're learning from them.
Right.
And a lot of people say, oh, I can't make it on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Eastern. That's not a problem. You can just post your document in the group the day before, the night before, and then come back and check the answer to your question as soon as you're available. So it's fun to be there live because you can kind of communicate back and forth, but you don't have to be. And then we have quarterly Ask Me Anything sessions where we do a private Zoom with our premium members. And you get to ask me any questions you might have on genealogy. And this is just a fun way to get to know the rest of the community as well. And people who are also researching German, you get to communicate with them. So we've had a really great time getting to know each other and learning from each other too. So that's the gold. The silver is basically everything the gold has except for the office hours. So you get the exclusive articles that are only for premium members. You get access to the archives. You get to come to those Ask Me Anything sessions and meet the other members of the group. You get a free vital record download in both memberships. So that's a little cheat sheet to help you translate your vital records. And then my webinars tend to fill up very, very quickly. I think I had 3,000 people at the last webinar, which was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that was
And those
amazing. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. And those premium members get first notice so they can get those spots saved. And then if you just want the articles, that's what the bronze membership is for. That's a very cheap membership, but you still get access to the exclusive articles. So yeah, these are some of our members. We have, I think, about 70 or 80 total, and it's just been wonderful to get to know everyone. Some of them have been with us since we first started in 2018. We have people from all over the world, somebody from Australia who is sleeping during our Wednesday office hours, but she always
Right.
posts ahead of time and then comes back and checks. So it's just been a great way to build a little community.
Well, that's perfect. So if a person was just starting out, what would you suggest
Hmm.
as a sort of a plan to get started?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for someone just starting out, the most important thing to get started in your German genealogy is to figure out the hometown of your German ancestor. So you don't want to start researching in Germany until you know the exact hometown where your ancestor came from. So in order to find that out, you want to start with yourself here in America or Canada or wherever you live and then go back from there. Where were your parents from? And then go to your grandparents. What do you know about them? The dates, the towns related to them. And once you get back to your immigrant ancestor who came to your country where you live now, you want to start figuring out where that hometown was in Germany. And there are a number of different ways you can do so. The most successful way that I have heard for people is to look at local church records. So the church in the town where your ancestor lived in America, Canada, Australia, a lot of times those baptismal records, those marriage records, those death records might have listed the town where they came from in Germany or Austria, Switzerland, etc. If you can't find it on church records, looking at family Bibles, photographs, a lot of times photographs that have been passed down will have the name of a studio written or printed on that photograph, and that might be a clue as to what their hometown was. Naturalization records, passenger lists, there's a number of sources you can look for in America or wherever you live to try to narrow down that hometown. And then once you get that hometown, you can cross over the pond and start looking at church records over in Germany.
So you know exactly where to go.
Yeah, because you don't, otherwise you'll just be wasting your time. A lot of people make that mistake saying, "Oh, my ancestor was Johann Weber. I'm just going to go look for him over in Germany." But there were so many
So
Johann
many.
Webers, yes, that
Yeah,
you
and
don't want to look up
sometimes
the
you
wrong
don't
ancestor.
realize you think that's an unusual name, but maybe for Germany, not really as uncommon as you think.
Exactly. And maybe you're a very kind person and you want to do somebody else's research for them, but I think most of us want to make sure we're really doing our own family research. So knowing that hometown, if you can get any dates related to that person, birth dates, marriage dates, that's death dates, to make sure it really is the right person.
Right. So, and then, okay, so I'm starting out, I'm doing that. What would be, so would my best option be to take one of your courses, or, about the handwriting,
Mhm.
or,
Once you get over to Germany, that's when you're going to encounter the handwriting. And honestly, some places in America, if your ancestor was part of a community that still spoke German, the churches in America would also use that old German handwriting. So
oh,
definitely familiarizing yourself with the handwriting would be a wonderful place to start. In both courses, you also learn the vocabulary that you'll encounter in those German church records, whether they be in America or in Germany. I've translated many, many records from Pennsylvania, Ohio, St. Louis that you think would have been in English, but because that community spoke German, the records were in German and in the old handwriting. So starting with the course would be a great place to start. I also have two books that might help you out.
yeah, actually, I bought them when I was at Rootstech.
Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. I hope they've been helping you. So yeah, these are, as Ellen said, this is the magic of German church records. This is all about working with church records, kind of like I talked about with that workshop. It's a
Right.
whole book that walks you through each different type of record in column format, because some are in column format and then in paragraph format, and telling you what you need to know to pull out that ancestor's information. And if you really just want to get your feet wet, this is a little tiny guide, tips and tricks of deciphering German handwriting. I taught myself the handwriting, and it's everything I wish somebody would have told me when I was first getting started. So it's a little get your feet wet type book. So any of those resources hopefully would help you.
Great. I see that you can also get some sort of a bundle with the
Mhm.
courses, or,
Yeah, a lot of people, actually, most people like to do that because once you are familiar with the handwriting, people want to further their language skills as well with the German for genealogist. So if you think you'd ever want to do both, you can bundle them together and you get over $150 off. And I
okay.
know money can be tighter for some people, so there are actually monthly payment plans. If you'd rather do that, you can do it's so much per month for whichever course you decide, and that helps a lot of people with finances as well.
Okay. And then I see you have translation as well. So if somebody
Yes.
has a document that they do want to, if they can't figure it out themselves, they can go to and get it translated.
Yeah, so like I was mentioning at the beginning, we do all types of documents. I love it. Letters and diaries are my favorite. I've translated so many diaries. One of my most recent projects I did was a baby book from 1921, where the mother documented every day of her baby's life in the 1920s in Germany. So that was fascinating. I've done journals where a woman was traveling by ship from Germany to Thailand to go see her husband who was stationed over there. And she documented all of her travels down across the English Channel, through the Strait of Gibraltar, to the Middle East, and then to Thailand, all about her adventures. So there's just been some fascinating documents I've gotten to work with. And we do whatever. We do all types of script. We do printed text. And I just love working with the people. It's so fun to see how excited they are to discover the words of their ancestors, and we love doing it too.
Well, and it's great because you sort of get a more of a glimpse of what their life was like at that time. I
You
mean,
really do
we
it.
can't really think about it in context of what life is like now.
No, you really can't. And it's just so fascinating. I did one journal where a woman was traveling from Germany to America by ship to emigrate over there and marry somebody who she'd never met, another German immigrant. And I think it was about 1920. And she was talking about the food on the ship and how amazed she was to have butter and what a luxury it was to have butter. And like you said, maybe we don't
You
appreciate
wouldn't
butter
even think
today.
about that as a
No,
thing. Yeah.
no. So now every time I eat butter, I think of her and think that I should appreciate it. So yeah, you do really get glimpses into the little details of life back then. But something else that's also really stuck out to me is how much humans stay the same. So yes, there's those crazy differences, but there's also people who still get annoyed at their neighbors. I did one letter that said, "Oh, this neighbor is just driving me crazy, and she just keeps gossiping about the other people in the village, and I just try to go out of my way whenever I see her coming towards me." And that could be someone talking today as well, or
Yeah, about
you
your
know.
neighbor right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So, or like parents worrying about their children and hoping that their children will succeed in life. So many things are different, but so many things stay the same too. And that's been something I've really enjoyed learning.
Oh, no, that sounds, I would love to have documents like that. What else? Is there anything else you think that my followers should know about your uh, Germanology Unlocked website?
I have a lot of webinars if people are interested in kind of getting started. I have a lot of on-demand webinars that might help people. They're totally free. Um, you can pick the one that works best for you. I think right now I have 5 up. I'm working on getting more, but we have all you need to know about German names. If you're interested in learning about names, we have 5 top websites to help you with that handwriting, different things about church records. This is a great one for people who are getting started. 5 types of German genealogy documents and what you can find in each. It kind of tells you the different documents that you should be looking for, how you can find them, and how you can work with them. And then this is a little fun one about Googling and how you can use Google to your advantage when you're starting to research genealogy. So those are all free. They're on demand. You can pick the time that works best for you. And especially for people just getting started, I think this 5 types would be a good one to start with.
Great, that's great. A great tip. Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank you for sharing your site with me and telling me a little bit more about where I can go to begin my genealogy research for my German ancestors. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.